What's going on, y'all? Micah here, and I'm back with another boxing breakdown. And this actually came as a suggestion from one of the guys. They were saying, man, go check out this channel, man. He kind of got a Canelo fanboy club going on over there, man. And I went and checked it out, man. The name of the channel is IBFP Podcast. Again, IBFP Podcast. I went on there, checked out a few videos. I actually enjoyed it. I think he's pretty entertaining. I think that, he has some interesting takes. He has some real takes. Even if I don't agree with everything, I still subscribed and checked it out. So go ahead and check him out. But this video right here is about, the kind of ongoing tension that Demetrius Andrade and Canelo Alvarez have been having within the past few years. Demetrius say he ducked him. Canelo say you boring as hell. Get your ass up out of here. You sorry. I'm not a Demetrius Andrade fan, but I think he is pretty skilled. I would say also in the same breath that he's a pretty flat, boring fighter. I don't think he has any power. None of his fights have really been entertaining. I used to watch him back on Friday Night Fights way back when I first was starting out. But, past that, I don't think he's really that entertaining or, like a big draw. And I'm guessing that's pretty much why Canelo has ducked him for the most part. Although I think it would show that Canelo has, the top tier skill. He could go ahead and take out Demetrius Andrade, but he hasn't. As far as Canelo Alvarez goes, I would say that, he's very entertaining. He has fought some decent fights, but he's also fought some very, 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 very questionable names. That's like, bro, why are we bothering with this guy? Why? But we're going to go ahead and see what your boy IBFP has to say and go ahead and give our own take. Let's go.
Why would Canelo be afraid of Demetrius Andrade? And look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And as you know, Demetrius Andrade's nut huggers always love to say that Canelo Alvarez is afraid of Demetrius Andrade. But I have a serious question. What does Demetrius Andrade do that Canelo Alvarez would be afraid of? I mean, we saw in his most recent fight against Damon Nicholson, this guy was dropped to the body by a journeyman in a mismatched fight. What would happen if Canelo Alvarez would have been in that fight with Demetrius Andrade and hit him with a body shot? He would have sent this man to Valhalla. That's what would have happened. This man would have been in Valhalla right now. That's what would have happened.
So when it came to that knockdown, I did think technically it would be ruled a knockdown. He hit you with a punch and you fell down. But at the same time, I don't think that was the reason why Demetrius Andrade fell down. I think it was more due to a tangling of the legs or maybe a little bit of momentum on Nicholson's part of coming forward. And there's also a guy that kind of broke down that whole part of the fight right there. His name is BoxEmApp. Go ahead and subscribe to him as well. He's just starting out, or he's maybe just starting out maybe a couple months back. And I think he had a really good in-depth breakdown. Let's check it out.
Let's take a closer look. So here you can see he lands a left hook to the body.
Are we counting that as a left hook to the body or more so a grab to keep myself afloat? It doesn't look like it was a left hook deliberate to the body. It looked more so like maybe it was starting out to be a left hook, but then he grabbed to keep himself up. Let's keep going.
Then kind of an uppercut again to the body.
As we can see there, he clearly blocked the hell out of that one. And unless Damon Nicholson has cock strength. I was calling him Terrence Nicholson in my other fight recap, but unless he has cock strength, which he might, you never know, I don't think that him hitting him on the elbow is gonna jolt his body like that. Like sometimes you might be holding the body shield for somebody and you might still be feeling the punches or something like that, depending on how weak you might be or how strong they might be. I don't think that he's hitting right there like that, but let's keep going.
Another left hook to the body.
I'd say that one kind of was hit or miss. That one kind of landed, kind of didn't. And you know how sometimes those can be effective, but most oftentimes they are not. Let's go ahead and keep checking it out.
And finally, a right hook again to the body.
So that one was clearly blocked right there. As you can see, the right hook to the body is making direct contact with the elbow. That's how you block body shots, if anybody doesn't know. But I think that's pretty much what sent him down. Unless, like I said, Damon Nicholson has cock strength, I don't think that his body shots are going to get through the elbows and how you like, But technically that was a knockdown because he did go down due to punches. I would say that in the first start, the tangling of the feet is what initially set Demetrius Andrade going back or off balance, and then the punches helped it. When he hit him right here, that's pretty much what sealed the deal to knock him down. I do think, though, that it was not a knockdown due to, him hurting him or bruising him. It was just a knockdown due to the fact that it was a punch and he fell down off of it. Let's go.
And from this, Andrade goes down. But the referee doesn't rule it as a knockdown. Let's take a look at the legs now. Look, there's definitely contact between their legs at the start of the sequence. Nicholson has his foot on the outside, Andrade on the inside. And he stays in this position while he's landing the body hooks. But the final blow, there's very little contact.
How do you guys feel about that analysis right there? Do you agree with what I was saying, that most of the punches didn't land? It was probably more so due to a momentum shift in the beginning, plus the punches that that landed against the guard, knocking him down, and that was what was the knockdown, or that was what caused the knockdown? Or do you guys think, man, Demetrius Andrade a weak ass goddamn, he weak as hell, he ain't built for this, boy, Canelo would goddamn destroy him? And I will say, based off of what IBFP said, I think that Canelo's body shots are much more explosive and precise than this guy Terrence Nicholson, or Demon Nicholson. I'm gonna keep on making that mistake on accident, but yeah, I think that would be a whole nother story. The question is, do we think that Canelo can get in there and land those shots? I think, yeah, he can, because if Demon Nicholson, somebody that's B or C tier fighter, can get in there and do it, I don't think he's sorry, but if he can get in there and do it, Canelo can definitely get in there and do it. It's going to be much harder. The question is, with Demetrius Andrade, go down off of that. Let's go ahead and see what else is being said.
I mean, come on. We've already seen him get dropped in the past by Vanes Monterosian, another journeyman. If journeyman can drop you, if journeyman can come through your defense, if journeyman can time you, what can an elite fighter like Canelo Alvarez do? So what would Canelo Alvarez be afraid of with Demetrius Andrade? I don't get it. Are you saying that Canelo Alvarez would be afraid of Demetrius Andrade's defense? That makes zero sense.
So a few things I'll say is, first, yeah, getting dropped by a guy like Vanes Monterosian, or whatever the hell his last name is, I would say is a red flag for Demetrius Andrade. But at the same time, a journeyman can have power, and anybody can get clipped or touched. Look at guys like Darnell Boone. Darnell Boone was actually not a terrible fighter. I think he had bad management. You think about him, he dropped guys like Andre Ward, which we all know Andre Ward is nowhere near a scrub. He also dropped another guy. He's that Canadian guy, Adonis Stevenson. He knocked him down. He dropped him. I think he also beat Kovalev back when Kovalev was that guy. So, a journeyman can still drop you. That's one thing I will say. I've seen guys get beat by journeymans that, that had undefeated records. So you got to watch yourself out here in these streets. That comes from being careless. But at the same time, I'd say that Demetrius Andrade right here had a haircut when he's getting dropped. So at this point, he's had like 6 years of dreadlock growth. So I'm going to say that's 6 years of, being a new person, learning new things, and being much smarter in the ring. So I think that he wouldn't be as careless with his defense. Obviously, when you're getting in there with somebody like Canelo Alvarez, you ain't get ready to be in there acting stupid and looking stupid. So I think it would be a different story. Also, while I said earlier that Demetrius Andrade was pretty much a boring fighter and lacked power and he didn't have any entertaining fights, I do mean that. He didn't have any entertaining fights because the guys that he fought, we don't really know who they are. We didn't know who they are. When he fights, he doesn't knock anybody out unless they're like a sorry guy. Even if he does knock that guy out, I don't care. It's like, I expect you to do it. I don't know this guy's name. But at the same time, while I do think all of that, I think that Demetrius Andrade is very skilled. And he has several things that are annoying as a fighter. He's unorthodox. He's southpaw. If you're a guy who's orthodox, or even if you're southpaw, you don't really run across those guys too often. So it makes for a difficult or just awkward, weird fight. Some guys fight southpaws well, but most guys don't really, just clean them up like that. And then at the same time, he moves a lot. And I think that when it comes to Canelo has issues with guys who move a lot. Look at his last fight with Bivol. Bivol moved a lot. He threw a lot of punches. Canelo does that high guard. The Mexican sit there, high guard, walk you down. You know, he has a little bit of defense, but, you know, that Mexican fighting style is still, you know, entrenched in his genes, goddamn. Also, who was another guy that I say he had trouble? Erislandy Lara. He had trouble with Erislandy Lara. I would even say he lost that fight. Caleb Plant. He had trouble with Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant gave him issues and even won quite a few of those rounds up until he got tired and Canelo got him up out of there with the power. Who else is somebody? Obviously, he had issues with Floyd Mayweather. So I would say that Canelo's problem that he would probably have with a guy like Demetrius Andrade is the fact that he's moving around a lot. He's southpaw, he's unorthodox, and then he's a low reward, high risk fight. So those are my reasons why I think Canelo has avoided Demetrius Andrade. But let's keep going.
When Canelo Alvarez fought the best defensive fighter in the world in Dimitri Bivol when he fought him. A lot of people don't even understand or know that. He also fought the best defensive fighter in the world when he fought Floyd Mayweather. So he'll fight the best defensive fighter in the world twice. And you'll say that he's afraid of Demetrius Andrade, who's basically a 35-year-old prospect? I mean, make that make sense. Okay, is Canelo Alvarez afraid of Demetrius Andrade's power? Is that what you're saying? We know that this man's hands is pillow-fisted. We know this. So is he afraid of his power? And even if his power was anything, Canelo Alvarez has literally the best chin in boxing. What are we talking about? What would Canelo Alvarez be afraid of? You're saying Demetrius Andrade's skill set? That skill set? I mean, come on. Canelo Alvarez has fought many better skilled fighters than this. Floyd Mayweather, Erislandy Lara, Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, Dimitri Bivol. Why would he be afraid of Demetrius Andrade?
So I like that he included a list of guys with similar styles to what Demetrius Andrade might have for Canelo. We've got Floyd. Yeah, he lost that when he was young. We can give that to him. It's like, you know, it's Floyd Mayweather with a wealth of experience. Floyd is a master at this thing. You're 23 or something like that. Lara, I think he lost to Lara. I said it again. Plant, he lost a few rounds to Plant. I think the only thing that really took Plant out was, you know, him getting tired and not being as herky-jerky as he was in the beginning. And then Canelo came and cleaned him up with that power. Saunders was on them goddamn PEDs before that. So, you know, all that movement that he was having before, I think, you know, it kind of fell off once he got off of that. And then Canelo got him up out of there. Bivol, we saw what happened with Bivol. Bivol also is much bigger. Canelo, I don't know if Canelo should be going up in weight. But at the same time, Canelo's fighting John Ryder or something like that instead of fighting Bivol again. So I think that is a little bit of poosy juice flowing in Canelo's veins right there. Bro, instead of, like, you know, going to get your get back from Bivol, you going for John Ryder. Because you already had your little tune-up with GGG the last time. Why not just fight Bivol again? I mean, I know you don't want that extra L on your record, but I mean, who cares, bro? I mean, we already know that you can fight. I mean, for the most part, everybody thinks Canelo's decent. We think he's a decent, tough guy fighter and all that kind of stuff. Why don't you just go back and fight Bivol? You know, but in the same time, you know, I think that he probably should have fought Demetrius Andrade. There are guys that he fought on his record that I think should be replaced with Demetrius Andrade's name. Let's check it out. So go from the bottom. We got Amir Khan. I think he probably should have fought somebody else besides Amir Khan. Amir Khan is, you know, a smaller guy. We see what happened there. Liam Smith, I believe Liam Smith is not that bad, so I can't really hate on him for that. Julio Cesar Chavez was pretty hyped up at the time. He seemed like he was that guy, but then we realized, hey man, you just a little privileged idiot kid that, you know, likes to smoke weed and I guess slack off in training. Triple G. Yeah, Triple G was pretty much the boogeyman at that time. I think he might have lost that fight, to be honest. The second one, Canelo definitely took that one easy. Rocky Fielding, don't even know who the hell that is. We could have probably fit Demetrius Andrade up in there. Daniel Jacobs. Yeah, Daniel Jacobs is not sorry. Sergey Kovalev, that's a move up in weight, so, you know, we can't hate on him for the move up in weight. I think Sergey Kovalev was a little bit you know, past his heyday at that point. Caleb Smith, I don't know which one it is, Caleb Smith or Liam Smith, but they said that one of them has been on a tear as of late. I haven't been checking them out. Avni Yildirim, I don't know who that is. I did watch him though, and I think I could beat him up. Billy Joe Saunders, we talked about that. Caleb Plant, Dimitri Bivol, GGG. GGG is also another guy. The last Triple G fight, I think, is something that Canelo could have filled the void with a better fight. You know, It was more of a tune-up to get itself right with a good name, so it doesn't look as bad to the basic untrained eye. But all us fighters, we know what the hell's going on right now. Let's go. Now I'd like to talk about what I think would happen if these guys did end up meeting sometime during this year. How could each person win? First, we've got Demetrius Andrade. I think that Demetrius Andrade is going to have to win due to, being unorthodox, moving a whole lot. He cannot get tired. We see that happen with Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant pretty much had the same slick, crafty thing going on. He's real herky-jerky, moving around, had Canelo missing a lot, landed a few shots, outworked him quite a few rounds, but he got tired because that is a high-pace, high-energy type of fight. Canelo came through with that power, cleaned him up. The same thing can happen to Demetrius Andrade if he does not have his cardio up or he's not putting up enough power to even stun Canelo. And like IBFP said earlier, Canelo has a chin. He's been hit by GGG and several other guys with some pretty solid shots, and he doesn't look like he's been worse for the wear at all. Canelo, obviously, he would have to, weather the early storm of Demetrius Andrade, because he's going to be moving a lot and being awkward with that southpaw stance. He's not going to probably get him out of there because he's got a power issue, and Canelo's going to have to hit him with that that right hand or that left hand. One of them two going to have to go on touch him to the body a little bit to slow him down, keep walking him down, and get him up out there in the later rounds. It would definitely be a later rounds if Canelo wins, but if Demetrius Andrade wins, it would definitely be all decision, no knockout, unless he lands a freak punch, Canelo runs into it, gets dropped like Manny Pacquiao, something like that. Canelo's gonna take that one. But yeah, man, do you guys think that Canelo should fight Demetrius Andrade, or do you guys think that Demetrius Andrade ain't really worth nothing? He ain't a draw. I mean, I guess he ain't really a draw, to be honest, but he's somebody that Canelo fights. Who should Canelo fight next? It definitely should not be John Ryder. I went and looked at John Ryder. I wasn't impressed with John Ryder at all. I'm guessing he's a big dude, but otherwise he moves slow, flat-footed. He probably has a little power, but yeah, that's pretty much all it was looking like. He did beat Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs is a little old and past his prime, so I don't know if I can really take that into account. But yeah, I think Canelo should probably fight either Demetrius Andrade, David Benavidez, or Jamal Charlo. Those are all really interesting fights I'd like to see. It'd be cool if he could get all three of them out in the same year. But we know how boxing works. There's all these little negotiations and brochiations and validations, and one fight might happen next year and he might have 0 fights. Who knows, man? At the same time, I think Demetrius Andrade has kind of gotten his own way with his career. I think that, they were saying he's been having issues with accepting contracts, accepting money, accepting fighting for this particular promotion. And I think that that's him getting in his own way, because Demetrius Andrade should already be known at this point. He should already be in the talks for more than just us purists or, us guys who are really in the fight game. He shouldn't be a guy that's just like, oh man, we don't know nothing about him. Like, if you talk to a regular Joe out here, they ain't gonna know who Demetrius Andrade is. So that's part of the reason why Demetrius Andrade is not getting fought. And, he also has kind of gotten in his own way. But yeah, man, if you watched it to this point, thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all as usual, and I'll see you next time.